And it's Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business and the Marketing Club of New York. We're down in New York City at Chelsea Piers for an IBM event talking about their AI and new Watson X product. Have a chance to talk with Matt Konwiser, who is data and AI group leader. Matt, good to see you. What's it like to be down at Chelsea Piers today for you?
Thank you. Actually, it's really quite nice out. The weather happened to be beautiful for us today, and the event was amazing. So, really good time.
Very good. Now, tell us what stood out to you. We heard from Chris Dobler on this, and and a number of the use cases for the new Watson X product. What are some of the key applications that you see for Watson X or for other AI products?
So it's actually a really interesting question, and I don't think there's a single answer. I don't think there's a good answer for any industry, for any type of business. It is largely a creative venture, and that's really where the promise of AI comes in, because you can have it help you do anything you want. And the best example I can give you, we're out here right now next to a bunch of boats right on the water here in New York. And if I were to ask an AI system, what's the best way for me to drive from here back to New Jersey, it would come up with cars, taxis, bicycles, and Ubers. But those aren't the only possible things. If I were to ask it, what's the easiest way for me to get to New Jersey, it might come up with helicopters, hovercraft, blimps, ferries, or anything else. So what you get out of it is largely what you put into it and what you ask it. And the creative element is really what's going to help differentiate AI and help businesses and people unlock that potential. Is thinking about it that way.
And Chris talked about some of the uses for AI in the banking industry and fraud prevention, also in customer service. What are some of the ways AI can be used in banking? Certainly, when I've been in banks, use different models for credit scoring. And what are some of the applications for banking that you see?
So I think in banking, especially if you're talking about investment banking and hedge funds and other things like that, really one of the most creative uses, again, creative for AI, is helping it find patterns in the mist, right? So it's something in security we used to call link analysis. It's the ability to associate loosely a number of different things to find a connection that you never would have seen otherwise. So if I wanted to know what the next best investment would be, who the best competition would be in a certain geographic area, or what types of areas, whether it's technology or otherwise, might be the next big bet, AI can look at reams and reams of information, both internally and externally, and help me find those things that I wouldn't have the time or the ability to look at in a quick fashion. And if we can utilize it that way, it just gets way beyond the simple, and analyze this stock versus that stock, or tell me which index to follow. It takes it to a next level. And that's the kinds of things I would love to see the finance industry and others start to apply.
Very good. How about we work in the Marketing Club of New York, many advertising, digital marketing companies and brands developing new ideas, developing new campaigns for customers. We know AI is going to be out in all the campaigns this fall and this winter. What are some of the ways AI can be used to develop new creative ideas or to build better imaging, in different media?
So that is really an interesting question, because when you think about AI and creativity, the two a lot of times will collide, because AI is not by nature creative, right? It is based on a construct that is trained by human beings, and it can only, quote unquote, think within that construct. So it's up to the humans and the prompts that they engineer and the questions they ask for the system to return something creative. Like, imagine from a marketing or a visual perspective, imagine the cast of Star Wars, but being implemented in Star Trek, right? What it would do is it would combine all those different elements and indicators and build something that nobody had really thought of before. And that type of creativity might inspire another level of development, but the answer itself wouldn't be the final product. So it really is going to be a collaboration between marketers and AI to train it, to ask the right questions, and then to extract the answer and then turn that into something creative. And we haven't really seen a lot of that yet, but we're seeing hints that the possibility will be there because of the new models and the new systems.
And Matt, you mentioned doing teaching and the Marketing Club of New York. We work with a number of colleges around the area. What is important now for students to look at in AI so that they are ready when they're out in the workforce?
So if you've ever taken behavioral psychology, the first thing they tell you the first day of class is never self-diagnose, because you're going to learn about all sorts of things that are really not great to have, and you're going to think, oh my God, I have all those different symptoms. That's me, I have that. And I think the challenge with AI is very much the same, is you have to understand how you are as a human being, how you think, how you process information, and how your target audience does that. And then you have to use the AI almost to overcome your own idiosyncrasies to design something and to get answers that really matches your intended audience. And so from a school perspective and from a learning perspective, introspection is just as important as the ability to write code, because everything is interrelated now, and AIs are using neural networks designed to be somewhat self-taught and self-learning, but using your prompts and your data as a guide. And so you have to understand how you influence that, and that's a critical element to learn.
And the Watson X product was released in July, a new version, although Watson's been out for a number of years. Why is this version of Watson special, and how does it compete against other products in the marketplace?
So, in a word, consumable, right? So when we trained Watson to compete in Jeopardy, it was a very, very long, very, very arduous process to do. And it's not something that's easily repeatable. It made it very difficult and very complicated to deploy AI systems, even though there was clear benefit and clear business use cases. With Watson X, it takes all of that and it repackages it using newer models and using newer capabilities to make the whole thing that much more consumable so that people can actually adopt it. And from a competitive perspective, without getting into specifics and details, what I will tell you is overall, because we have not only the pedigree and development of these systems, but we also have the system now that is that consumable, we can offer you something that is a little bit more well-tuned, a little bit more polished than most other systems from a results standpoint, and without being merged or munged with reams of publicly trained data and models as well. It is truly your system to use.
And Matt, just if you would, tell us a little bit about how you joined IBM and some of the steps along your career path.
So I actually went to work at a local university and for the county of New Jersey for a little while after college. And I went to work for a networking manufacturer, and I was in that company for 17 years. I did everything from optical networks to cellular network designs, policy networks, and LAN and WAN. And then I basically graduated that after leaving running tech organizations and doing global marketing. And I wanted to do something different. So I joined IBM and I got into the security division. And I went from security to sustainability, and now I work in data, AI, and automation. So my focus, very much like AI, is constant reinvention. That's what I'm doing.
Well, Matt Konwiser, great to talk with you. Great to be invited to your IBM presentation event here at Chelsea Piers. Hope we can have another chat down the road.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, and thank you.
Our pleasure. This is Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Business and the Marketing Club of New York.